Alabama at the top or the top for a trio of 5-star wide receivers. We're going to get into that. Could that be, if they landed all three guys, the best wide receiver class in school history? And they've got the right guy pulling the strings right now. Head coach Kalen DeBoer. Yeah, former wide receiver. We're going to get into that and more right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure that you share with your Alabama friends if you like the show. And if you don't, well, hang around with us long enough, and I think we'll convince you to like us a little. All right, here we go. Let's get things started. This is the Bama Tailgate Daily on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Roll Tide. All right. What do you say, everybody? Look at that guy. Big smile on his face. Big, sexy Elmo at Brett Elmore Show. You guys know him. I'm at Broadcaster Mick. What's up, dude? Look at you.
Look at you, man. Look at those pillows over there.
I know. They haven't been touched yet. I'm going to sleep on those tonight.
Oh, okay,
back on the, as Willie Nelson said, on the road again.
Man, you're just a traveling man. You're just you're worldwide, you're nationwide, you're Mick Gillespie, ladies and gentlemen. And before the show, Mick sung me just about the entire version of 3 Dozen Roses because I was singing it. I sang one verse. He finished the whole thing out. It was
love that song. I do love that song. All right. You know what else I love is that we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia. We're going to be there for another group that we're going to want to sing, and that's Boys to Men and then Big and Rich. All right, that's coming up the weekend after the 4th. But how about this? Bama at the top or near the top for 2025 wide receivers, Kaliq Lockett and Derek Meadows. How about this?
Yeah, and I think I said, and I don't know, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I said we wasn't going to land this guy, Derek Meadows, that is. I thought he was going to go to Notre Dame. But now this guy's really interested in some Bama. And, we talked about him because he's 6'5", 200. And he goes to Bishop Gorman out in Las Vegas. And he was pretty much 100% locked in, sold on Notre Dame. And now that has changed. And this is what a lot of the experts define as one of the most intriguing wide receivers out there for this class. He has great size, great athleticism, and great body control. And with that 6'6" frame, 80-inch wingspan. He could touch me in Jasper and touch your nose in Birmingham. This guy has the wingspan. He can run as well. He's one of the top track athletes out in Las Vegas. As a matter of fact, he was Nevada's 2023 Gatorade Track and Field Player of the Year. This guy has everything you want, and now he's saying Bama's either at the top or near the top of the list after this big weekend. And then Kaliq Lockett, that kid from Texas that we talked so much about.
Yeah, right. This is a guy that's predicted to go to Texas. 5-star in the industry. 24/7 is the only one that has him as a 5-star right now. But, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's got just an elite level of ball hand skills, someone that people feel like just has an amazing catch radius, a difference maker. Everybody thought he was going to Texas, comes to Tuscaloosa, hanging out with Kalen DeBoer, and he's probably like, you know what? Everybody else is all about like defense and this and that. He goes, man, this guy's a wide receiver as a head coach. He knows how to get me the ball.
Yeah, and both of these guys, they're predicting to be NFL early draft type players. These are two big fish, and as a junior, as a junior, Lockett, his numbers caught 59 passes for right at 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. That equals out, if my Curry High School math works out, that's like 22 yards per reception.
Yeah, how about that?
Another great player and another guy that, man, I tell you, these past few weekends, you read through all of the stuff on X and Instagram and Facebook and everything, and some of the folks was just saying these are historic weekends because of just the sheer number of players and how talented they are from all over the country. This has been big, and this has been fun to watch.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's been, and really, it just shows you the recruiting ability of Kalen DeBoer and his staff. And how about this right here? You talked to Caleb Cunningham. He's from right over in Mississippi, 5-star wide receiver. And now they're starting to predict that he is going to be an Alabama commitment soon.
Well, he said Bama's on the top of the list. And when we were talking about Caleb Cunningham, some in the past, he was talking about, Mississippi State. And we were talking about the vicinity there because he's from Choctaw County High School over in Ackerman, Mississippi, and that's right in the backyard of Mississippi State. But yesterday he was talking about how close to home Tuscaloosa is, and Cunningham, 6'1", 190, another great little receiver, another 5-star out of Mississippi. As a junior, he set school records with 48 catches, just over 1,130 yards and 14 touchdowns. And he also does a little track and field as well.
Give the guys at On 3 the credit there. Andrew Bone, Tim Watts, those guys who are following this, and they're the ones that are predicting it. And you read it everywhere, but that's where it really initiates. And those guys beat the phone lines up. You're actually working on having Cunningham on our channel.
Yeah, he talked about maybe later in the week coming on and joining us. It'll be nice to chat with him again and see how his weekend went. But the 2025 at least on 24/7 now has Alabama ranked nationally as number 2.
Yeah, how about that? Up to number 2 at the class. Now, if you got these 3 wide receivers, first off, if you were a wide receiver and you were a 5-star wide receiver and you could come to Alabama and you look at the quarterback that they have, you look at the guy that's next in line, right? And then you look at the guys that are also there, and then you look at the guys in this class, and you're going, man, you know what? This is a school where I think we're going to get the ball a lot. I mean, there's no chance that DeBoer isn't going to utilize the wide receiver position. But if you got 3 5-stars, would it be the best receiver class ever? I mean, could that be better than the 4 horsemen?
I don't know, man. That question's kind of being put out there. If you get these guys, and don't forget we've already got the Brooks kid, Lothier Brooks from New Jersey.
Right. Yeah.
So we already have him, in the basket, I guess. And now we got to get these 3 eggs. I was looking for the term, and now I'm thinking, now we got to get these 3 eggs, put them in our little basket. Then we'll have a nice little basket of wide receivers. The past few days we've been talking about how good this offensive line, how stacked we are at offensive line. And now we're looking at the news this morning of these 5-stars, and everybody, and I hate to hear it, as good as this class has been, and we talked about this yesterday, to be the number 2 class with 0 5-stars, and everybody wants to say, where's all the 5-stars at? Just wait. Good grief. I mean, they're coming, and we may land 3 right here on the wide receiver end.
Yeah, right.
Where's all the 5-stars? Why can't you be happy?
Because that's just the way it goes.
Where's the 5-stars at, Mick? Why don't you and Big Elmo talk about the 5-stars? Well, guess what? This is going to be a great class. They're already second in the country. We're going to land more big-time athletes, and we're going to win, baby. That's it.
Yeah, it's just been fun watching what the staff has been able to accomplish. And
Mick, give me an over-under. Give me an over-under. Let me since we're going to be at Pearl River here in a couple weeks, and we invite everybody to come because I want to use y'all's money to gamble. No, I'm just kidding. Over-under. What do you think? 3 years. DeBoer wins a national championship.
I think he's going to. I really do.
3 years.
I would take the. I think it's going to be under 3 years. I think Bama's going to win another championship, and it's going to come pretty soon. I think that he's got all he needs, and I just don't. The only thing I'm worried about, and you guys know this, is the secondary this year because of all of the defectors that we had last year. But if that group can come together, we can pressure the quarterback, or maybe we just score so much that it doesn't matter. We're going to be dangerous later in the season. Now, that's barring some injuries, but DeBoer didn't take this job to just show up and get paid. He could have got paid at Washington. He came here on a mission to win a national championship, and I think he's going to do that. And, I mean, every time you turn around, the sidelines put out a thing today. It was like Bama predicted to land Dijon Lee and Ty Haywood today. He's like, that was yesterday. They said that, but the momentum that these guys have, this staff, and the players that they're getting there, and without really a whole lot of time together. I mean, just right at the end of the season, a lot of times it's hard to do that because everyone's made their mind up. But these guys are convincing players to want to come to Alabama, and that's exciting.
Well, okay. All right, let's take out the 3 receivers, Cunningham, Meadows, and Lockett. Okay. Alabama sits at number 2 on 24/7. I think number 3 on, on 3, I think, that has them at 3rd. But anyway, all right. So let's take out these 3. There's some more that's been crystal balled or mentioned to be coming. So you got Dijon Lee, the 5-star defensive back. You have Ty Haywood, the 5-star offensive tackle. You have Dawson Merritt, the 4-star linebacker. So you have 5 players right there, and 4 of those are 5-stars that we can still add to this class. And that surpasses, I think, would that not surpass Ohio State and be the number 1 class?
I think they have a real. I've said it I've said it when they were number 7. I said they have a chance to get the number 1 class, and they're working on. They can take offered from them, and that's a 5-star that you would take right from Ohio State.
Right. Yeah, and if you add 5 5-stars. You would think you would definitely be at the top of the list, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll see, but it depends on what the other schools do too. But Alabama's rolling right now in recruiting. And guys, I want to tell you a couple things before Brett takes over the show. And first thing I want to tell you is swung over to newlifeart.com. The paintings over there are amazing. You guys love them. Brett's got them. You can see them in his background there. The classics are on sale right now with our promo code. Use this at checkout, and you get 25% off, excluding new releases. So 25% off. Promo code's Bama Tailgate. Pimp out your man cave. And I know a lot of you guys are like us. We absolutely love the Daniel Moore pictures. Love them. Love them. Can't say enough good about them. And then I want to remind you, too, that we're brought to you by the great people at Pearl River Resort. After this quick message about Pearl River, Brett's going to take over, and that's going to be fun. But we can talk about Big and Rich. They're there the day before, which is a huge weekend, right? The 4th of July weekend, Boys to Men. They'll be performing at Pearl River Resort, Silver Star, and Golden Moon Casino. Brett and I will probably be hanging out at the Timeout Lounge, the sports book, throwing down some pizza money on some games. You got 20 big screen TVs in there. You got the bar. It's just a fun place to hang out and watch games. You got the table games and slots. You got Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. If Brett and I spend $50 in the sports book, we can play Dancing Rabbit for $40. That's the Augusta you can play. That's a great deal. Spas, water parks open, all that. Check it out right now. Philadelphia, Mississippi, Pearl River Resort.
resort. They call him Big Sexy. Coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy. Throwing out those Alabama thoughts. Sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. Nick gives you the XP, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
Happy June 24th to you, Mixter.
happy June 24th to you, Big Elmo.
Another famous Mick, but not as famous as our Mick Gillespie, but running a close second. Mick Fleetwood is celebrating a birthday today, 77.
Yeah, I love Fleetwood Mac, man. Love them. They had the most dysfunctional band like ever, right?
Yeah.
Like Stevie Nicks and him, and then they're dating, and then they break up, and then they write songs about the breakup, and then she's performing them, and then she's singing about him, and he's playing about her, and then but the music was amazing. Yeah. How weird, but whatever it takes, man.
That money was good though. That money was good. They was like, let's just do it for the money, baby. All right, let's do it. Put out some great music. Love Fleetwood Mac. They're 77 today. Our Mick is.
Not Mick Gillespie, though.
Not Mick Gillespie.
Thank
Mick
God.
Gillespie's way far away from 77. That guy's young. Kurt Smith, he's the singer-bassist for Tears for Fears. Is 63 today.
Oh, I love me some Tears for Fears, man. That's my running music, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I would go out to spring training to work, and as soon as I get there, and it would be cold here, and then I get out to Arizona, and I put that Tears for Fears in, and I start jogging, and it's like, everybody wants to roll the world. Sowing the seeds of love,
Yeah.
They've got like 4 good songs, but they're 4 really good songs. So just keep rotating them back and forth.
Awesome. Oh, yeah. Former lead guitarist of the Black Crowes, Jeff Cease, is 57 today.
Yeah, man. The Black Crowes, they're kind of like one of the modern rock bands that kind of reminds me of like an old school rock band, they would have fit in, like you could have thrown them in with like Led Zeppelin and The Who and, Peter Frampton and those guys. Like they just kind of fit that mold. And most of the rock music now is actually country music. I don't know if you realize that. Like there's not a lot of it's like either really soft or it's like there's like a hard edge to some country music, but you don't really have like rock anymore. Those guys were it for a while. I don't know that they've really had anything new come out, but very good band.
Yeah, they were just around within the past 6 months or to a year. They were touring and came through Tuscaloosa. Had a chance to see them there. It's always a great show. John Isley, the bassist of Dire Straits, 75 today. Another great band.
Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing, kind of a baseball song to me. I don't know if it's. I guess it could be musical too, like maybe swing band. But I always thought of like Sultans of Swing as like a baseball song. Great, another great band. Kind of old. What did we say, like 80s or 90s with them? But
Dire Straits more 80s, I guess. Yeah.
What's the big song for them? Too Far Away is like one I really like. Or So Far Away. I think that's what's called.
I was trying to think. Now you put me on the spot. Dire Straits. I don't know what their biggest song would be, but I know we play a lot of their stuff on the radio.
Yeah, right. I'm looking them up right now because Sultans of Swing, Brothers in Arms.
Arms.
Money for Nothing. That's the one.
There you go. Money for Nothing.
And the Chicks for Free. Walk of Life is the baseball song, by the way, not Sultans of Swing.
Yeah, you were thinking of Sultans of Swing is someone else, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sultans of Swing. Yeah, I was trying to remember who that was. It's too early for me to be thinking about all this. What do you make me think? Sultans of Swing. Damn it! Now I'll have to Google it. Look, Sultans of Swing. That is Dire Straits.
It is. Yeah. It's just not the baseball song.
Right. It's just not the baseball song. Okay. All right. Let's move forward here before I have to think anymore. If you're looking for something to celebrate today is Farmers Day. If it wasn't for the farmers, we wouldn't have anything to eat.
Yeah. I told you my grandparents were farmers. They used to take the fruit and vegetables to this store called Miller's. It was like a market. I remember walking through there, and then that was back when they didn't have it wasn't like it is now with all these different grocery stores, although there were some grocery stores. And then they would take the stuff and they would just sell it. I remember my grandmother would come out and she'd have $26.35, and it'd be watermelons and cantaloupes and corn and stuff. And that
$26.35.
Yeah,
it wasn't a whole that, or
well, I'm just making that up. But I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of it wasn't the money that you would, it isn't the money that you would think for something like that, but it was an important thing, to have that. And people y'all didn't
have grocery stores when you was growing up?
No, not like they are now. I mean, you'd have a couple of them, but there were a lot of in the country, there were a lot of these family grocery stores.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about, so it wasn't the chains have taken over, but it used to not be like that. Every little city, every little town would have their own grocery store. And now when I would go see them, they were farming way out in the country, so you go to Miller's Market, drop this basket of stuff off, and you get your $26.75 and feel wow, all this hard work, and so
all this hard work, and I've got $26.35. in today's world, that wouldn't be much at all. That wouldn't be much at all, today is International Ferry Day.
And if you ever go to Dauphin Island, you can ferry over to the mainland.
Ferries.
Oh,
the other ferries. You can celebrate them if you'd like
Peter Pan and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I play Pokemon Go, and so there's a whole category of ferries on Pokemon Go, and I know you're gonna laugh. But that's how I get my exercise. I go out there and I spin the ball and bang, I'll just take out I tell you, this already.
All right, look. Okay, here's the deal. I'll call Mick, and Mick will be in the middle of his exercise, and I'm in the middle of my afternoon nap, and I'm talking to Mick on the phone, and he's like, got it. And I'm like, you're playing this Pokemon Go, aren't you? Yeah, I've caught this, that. I was like, and it's over my head. I don't know anything about it.
All I'm doing is I'm just ridding the streets of all these bad fairy Pokemon.
That's what he tells me. Something you can't celebrate. It's National Pralines Day. That is today.
There was a time when I used to eat tree nuts, and I love tree nuts, but they just don't sit with me now.
Do you break out into hives?
Man, I'll tell you what. If I eat pistachios, it's not every time, but it's just sometimes. And I didn't because for years I didn't. But yeah, for years I didn't know what would cause it. Sometimes it just itch, but the times when it's bad, it's like my hands swell up. The back of my neck swells up too, starts, and then I'll get hives my entire body, all the way down to my toes.
That is,
and it's weird. I can't breathe, and it's so serious. I got to carry a EpiPen, And they told me, like, it's rare that people die from a tree nut allergy, but the guys told me that I could. So I would take the risk. When you put nuts in somebody's food, know that there's people like me out there that might die from it. Just make sure that you put a label on there.
You're right. Yeah, put the label on there. And now we know the way to kill Mick, even though we don't want to. 1964. The Federal Trade Commission announced it would require warning labels on cigarette packs beginning in 1965. That's funny. They would do that, but still sell them in, you remember the little cigarette machines?
Yeah.
You can go over there. I don't know how it was in Maryland when you was growing up, but, growing up here, your mom or dad could send a little note with you. And you could go to the gas station or whatever. It's like
they did that here.
Yeah, give little Brad a pack of cigarettes for me, and and then you buy the cigarettes.
Yeah, I think both of my parents smoked at one point.
Yeah.
Of course, my father died years ago, but it's one of the products that I still don't understand how it's even legal, because if you do everything right, you die of cancer. Right. It's not like if you I know you smoke, Brett, so this isn't directed at you directly, but what bothers me about it, and look, I'm not trying to outlaw cigarettes, but I'm just telling you, if you do everything that's required to do it, right, light it, smoke it, the chances are you're going to die from it. You could have a heart attack, you could have a stroke, you could get cancer from it. And my grandfather, he smoked a pipe forever, and he ended up, dying, and it was directly related to smoking. So it's not a great habit, so that's why they put the warning labels. But I don't even know if it stops anybody. I mean, I think once you get addicted to it, and I've been addicted to tobacco too, smokeless tobacco, to the point where I won't even go into the gas station because I don't want to look at Skull or Copenhagen. I don't want to see. They're like this. They whisper at you. And I used to work for them, and they whisper at you like this. They're like, Mick, come over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mick.
Right. I don't even, there's days where I'm like, I'm not even going in there. And I think I've been 3 or 4 years since I did it last. So
yeah, I smoke, and it is a terrible habit. I'm going to get off that. But see, then it's like, what kind of vice do I have? Then I'll just be totally clean of everything bad. But yeah, I probably need to start it. You look into that. 1987, sad day. Jackie Gleason passed away at the age of 71.
Oh, wow.
Jackie Gleason, of course, of the Honeymooners, Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah. Oh, I know who he is. Yeah, Jackie Gleason, amazing actor. Was Jackie Gleason, was he in the Toy?
I don't know. He was in The Hustler. He was in the Smokey and the Bandit movie. I don't know if he's in the Toy or not. Yeah, you're a big fan of that movie.
Well, I just like Richard Pryor. I think there's a lot of people that don't like the Toy. I thought that was like, if you can make that movie funny, then you can make anything funny. And I'm a big stand-up guy. I like Richard Pryor a lot. Dave Chappelle. Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
You can sit there and imitate him all day. But yeah.
1992, John Gotti begins his life sentence in prison. And let's see what else here. 1993, this is a big day. Yale University computer expert was injured in his office by a bomb sent by the Unibomber.
Do you remember? Yeah, and I went to college before I transferred to Alabama at Maryland, and one of the guys that was at Maryland at the time, his dad died from a Unibomber bomb. Worked for was an executive for one of the oil companies.
Wow.
And that's when it's kind of real. When a guy's just like, some crazy guy is sending bombs from his makeshift off the grid layer, it's one thing, but when somebody's parent isn't there because of this guy, and they eventually caught him because his family kind of thought that he was doing it, but there's some, people are crazy, man. I mean, we talk about this all the time. There's some crazies out there. And when you mix intelligence with crazy, you get stuff like the Unibomber.
Right. Yeah. All right. And one final thing, and this is right up your alley. 1997, the Air Force released a report on the so-called Roswell incident, suggesting the alien bodies witnesses reported seeing in 1947 were actually life-sized dummies.
Yeah, and I don't believe that for a second. I mean, look, I'll tell you guys this right now, and Brett knows this from me. If you go back and you look at where technology was before 1947 and what we're able to do now, the only logical leap is that some spaceships or some ships from somewhere crashed and we got them, right? And then we started to really turn the technological edge around. I mean, it makes too much sense. And who are we to think that we're the only ones out there? I think once you get past the idea that humans may not be the only thing out there that's intelligent life, I think you come to the realization that that's possible. But now we've got videos of our planes tracking, these ships, and government whistleblowers are telling us that we have them. So I don't even know that it's that big of a deal anymore. But why cover it up? That's the thing I don't understand. Is it that you're trying to not give an edge to other countries that may want to, to take that technology? Or you trying to hide something? I don't know. But I without a shadow of a doubt, I think that whole Roswell thing was, was definitely a ship that wasn't an origin of us,
Have you ever been wanting to go to Area 51?
No, I mean, not really. I tell you what, though, I would love to do a podcast where we talked about UFOs. And the funny thing is our friend, our late great buddy, that kind of the guy that got us together, Bull Corey, kind of thought the same thing, in his way. I just have spent a lot more time researching it than you. If anybody's still watching this show, if they've hung with us for 30 minutes or this, they're rewarded.
What is it?
Nothing.
Is there something wrong? That's a look at this day in history.
All right, guys, check out Brett every day on WJLX in Jasper. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Roll Tide.